Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and the HINMAN emails and documents are out. I woke up at 4:30 this morning. I'm already tired, but I've already started to look through what's there and see the tweets and all, and I've got a few of the tidbits now, and then we'll have more of them in the next video today. But it's already got the XRP price moving. We're at 56 cents. I think it started the day at 52 or 53, up 6.9%, around 7%. XRP jumped USD already, is now in the 5 spot. Folks, I've said it 1,000 times, XRP would be way up here if ETHGATE had not happened. And now we're gonna show it all to you. First thing I want to show you before we get to the what we have seen from the emails is this. This is from Tom Emmer. This is yesterday. The Republicans are trying to oust Chair Gensler, and we've also got this it was put out by Warren Davidson. Let me see here. This is what they're trying to do. Is the old structure is where you have the SEC chairman. New structure is where it would have commissioners, and then they would, I guess, decide things, and then an executive director would carry out what they decided. That would be my understanding. I told Warren Davidson and Tom Emmer, well, that's great, but you both know it can't. It's not going to pass what you guys are trying to do, and so what we need, unless this is just more political posturing, is a commitment that they will defund the SEC, or at least defund the SEC's crypto duties so that they can't spend money on crypto anymore. That would solve the Gary problem. And then yesterday afternoon, Jungle Inc. had asked Brad Garlinghouse if he had any thoughts on the HINMAN documents, and Brad Garlinghouse has said, wish I could go in depth now, but we've waited this long, 18 plus months. I don't want to overstep. Suffice it to say, Stuart Alderati and I believe they were well worth the wait. So here we go, and this is and I wanted to make sure before we went into them, I want to make sure I remind you all that this is Charles Gasparino sent back in the day. This is January 19th, 2022. Ripple is looking to show the HINMAN speech was indicated SEC bias in favor of competitors such as Ethereum. HINMAN has denied and states those comments were his own opinion, not the SEC's official position. Story developing. Well, all of these HINMAN documents will prove that HINMAN's lying right there. He lied in his deposition, and the SEC lied in court for over a year about this, folks. What are the repercussions and what are the damages is what I want to know. We can't have an SEC that's allowed to lie while they make a company spend $200 million and they have to spend all of that money to prove that a government agency is lying to string them along. It's unbelievable. How many of that $200 million of Ripple's money was spent trying to get these HINMAN emails released to prove that they were lying? How much? Where are what are the damages for Ripple that they should be reimbursed by the SEC for lying? What are the damages for Bill HINMAN personally for lying? Because they lied. We know because we had to literally go find videos to show that they were lying, which ultimately put a lot of pressure on the situation, which is why you're seeing these emails in the first place. All right, Wrath of Kahneman says the SEC Office of General Counsel told HINMAN his speech was confusing. They wanted him to tie more closely to Howey, but his attempt was convoluted enough. They thought it would lead to greater confusion as to what's a security. That's the first thing we see. Now, Bill Morgan says this will do it for me. Holy crap on a cracker. Ethereum's founder, involved in the process leading to the speech, giving Ethereum alone special clarity. This is just wrong on every level. This is from the documents. HINMAN inserted an alternative. On June 4th, HINMAN shared a draft of the speech with the SEC division heads and wrote that the proposed language about Ether is in brackets and would be used if we are all in agreement, and adding, we also have a call with Buterin later this week to confirm our understanding of how the Ethereum Foundation operates, suggesting that the draft did not reflect HINMAN's understanding of how the Ethereum Foundation operates. Now remember, folks, meanwhile, Brad Garlinghouse was going in to meet with HINMAN and Jay Clayton, and they were giving him the runaround. He's telling them Ripple's in purgatory, and they're like, oh, let's not talk about XRP. Let's just talk about your business. They were stringing him along while they're calling Vitalik to get a better understanding of the Ethereum Foundation. I can't wait to see who else they were calling. Well, this is, if he wanted an understanding of the Ethereum Foundation, here's an understanding of the Ethereum Foundation.
$1 billion. Does it deserve it? Like, do the things that it's actually accomplished, like hold a candle to the promises that the market is ascribing to it? And I mean, the subtext of my answer is not yet, and that was proven very right fairly quickly. And
but you didn't short it, did you?
So I did get the Ethereum Foundation to sell about 70,000 ETH, like basically at the top, and that's doubled our runway now. So, and it was one good decision that had a lot of impact.
How many times have you heard all of the fudsters against Ripple? Oh, they dump on retail. He just told you on video that he dumped he instructed the Ethereum Foundation to dump 70,000 to make their runway longer for the Ethereum Foundation. And Bill HINMAN wants to better understand them and go after and make sure a lawsuit's filed against Ripple. Now, we don't need to forget Vitalik Buterin. Now that we know that Bill HINMAN's getting on the phone with him, okay, it puts this more in perspective. And don't forget, while you look at this, that Bill HINMAN and Jay Clayton helped take Alibaba, the Chinese company, public. This is when he said, looks like Ripple and XRP team is sinking to new levels of strangeness. They're claiming their shitcoin should not be called a security for public policy reasons, namely because Bitcoin and Ethereum are Chinese controlled. And that was about the mining, folks. Remember, Bill HINMAN and Jay Clayton, remember that company Canaan, which was a mining company out of China? They made sure that thing went IPO, didn't they? Then we've got this from Bill Morgan. Next extract. SEC's official Office of General Counsel proposed deleting the draft's language about Ether in its entirety, writing, we still have reservations about including a statement directly about Ether in the speech, in part because the statement would make it difficult for the agency to take a different position on Ether in the future. Notwithstanding the OGC's expressed concerns and proposal to remove the language about Ether from the draft, the final version of the speech included a discussion about Ether. Fred Rispoli commented also, he said, well, after looking at the unredacted Ripple opposition to SEC MSJ, Rule 56.1, it's disgusting how the SEC operated. Disgusting how it let HINMAN get away with that speech. Disgusting how SEC purposely made it official, behind-the-scenes policy to deliberately sow market confusion. And it's very clear that, yes, hands down, no more guessing, totally for real. ETHGATE actually happened. I can't see any way SEC wins at MSJ, and I don't think you will find it extremely obvious why both judges in this case ordered these docs produced. Then we've got this from Mr. Huber. This is, let's just read it. We still have reservations about including a statement directly about Ether in the speech, even with the caveats. Why did HINMAN give this speech, folks? Why did he give it? They were telling him that we have reservations about this. Why was he so determined? He's going to hop on the phone with Vitalik to make sure he understands it so he can turn around and sell it to the people at the SEC. statement directly about Ether in the speech. Even with the caveats in the sense, it seems it would be difficult for the agency to take a different position on Ether in the future. Further, the rest of the paragraph strongly implies that the thinking applies to Ether. Without the sentence about Ether, those implications might generate a useful reaction about Ether from purchasers or those in the fintech space. With the sentence, the reaction seems less likely to focus on the analysis and more to focus on the potential fallout of making a direct statement about Ether's status as a security. Then we've got this. It says, this is spicy. Attached, this is from Bill HINMAN. Attached, please find a draft of the speech I had mentioned, which suggests that we do not need to see a need to regulate Ether, as it is currently offered as a security. That language is in brackets and would be used if we are all in agreement. We also have a call with Buterin later this week to confirm our understanding of how the Ethereum Foundation operates. And then we've got this. I thought leading into this that Brett Redfern was the guy that was warning him that this would create market confusion. Maybe he did. But now we know, because Rob Cunningham put this part out, now we know that Brett Redfern was literally encouraging Bill HINMAN to just come out and say that it's not a security. Look at this part. This is from Brett Redfern to Bill HINMAN and a lot of these other people. Look right here. As written, the language remains vague as to whether ETH is a security. If you want to make an affirmative statement that it's not a security, the language could be stronger. Just say it. If you don't want to take an affirmative stance, we suggest using language similar to what you use for Bitcoin. In other words, let's at least give it a quasi non-security designation the way we've been doing Bitcoin. Okay? But if you want to just say it, just come out and say it. And what's interesting about Brett Redfern is his resume, of course. He's ex-JP Morgan, right? A lot of these guys seem to be JP Morgan, don't they? Then we've got this one. Okay, I think that might be the same one. Yeah, I've already shown that one. So this is just a start, and I'm going to go back in there. There's thousands of pages of this stuff, and then I'll bring whatever stuff I find. We'll bring it right back on out. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that Brett Redfern just said, just say it. Thanks for listening.